كان بل ولا زال إني أساهم في تطوير هذه البيئة التعليمية وبأن أضع عليها بصمة النجاح. وش نقصنا؟ وش نقصنا؟ لا تخلونا نقلل من قيمتنا، ترى نقدر، والله نقدر باليد الوحدة. وفي هذا تحت هذه المظلة بالتعاون فريق العمل وبالقيادة الصحيحة بنقدر نحقق أحسن الإنجازات إن شاء الله. صحيح إن بلادهم برا حلوة، بس الوطن ما له مثيل، وبالتعاون
نحقق أحلامنا يا ولدي.
فعلا.
ما شاء الله عليك يا ولد الله، ما شاء الله عليك. إن شاء الله ما تنطفي شرارة الحماس اللي فيك إن شاء الله يا رب.
إن شاء الله.
وافرح واشوفك إن شاء الله، واشوف عيالك وإن شاء الله، وافرح إن شاء الله يا رب. إي نعم. إي الحمد لله، مو مثل بعض شباب هاليومين الله يهديهم، بس أي عقبة تواجه خلاص نعجز ونوقف. لا، لازم نشد حيلنا ونجتهد. إي نعم، مو بس أي عقبة صارت نقعد نحط يدنا على خدنا ونقول له أبوي أمي أخوي، كلام فاضي يا ولدي يا علي.
سم يا يبا.
يجي يوم يا ولدي وأقول انقطع عملي وأنت أملي، أنت يا ولدي.
الله يسلمك يا يبا، والله يطول بعمرك وعمر الوالدة إن شاء الله. يا يبا احنا فعلا في عصر التكنولوجيا اليوم الحديثة، اليوم فعلا العالم صار سهل وأسهل من أول، بس في مشكلة عندنا من بعض الشباب إنما أخذين الحياة سهلة جدا، وكلمة اعتماد على النفس أبدا ناسينها. فعلا مشكلة جدا قوية وهذه لابد أن نعالجها. التكنولوجيا جت تسهل الحياة، مو علشان نحن نعيش نعتمد على آبائنا وأمهاتنا، احنا لازم نعتمد على نفسنا فعلا. وتصدق يا يبا من بعض المشاكل اليوم يقول بعض الشباب اليوم ما يقرأوا الكتب، مو لأنهم ما يعرفوا يقرأوا، بل المصيبة لأنهم ما يحبوا يقرأوا الكتب. أوصيك بالعلم الجميل فإنه ما جاد شخص إلا نال ثناء، بالعلم لا بالجهل ترفع أرؤس، وبغيره لا تحصد الإنماء. ما بين هذا وذاك أنت مخير، فرض لنفسك رفعة وبهاء. اشدد يديك بما أقول فإنه ما نام فرد إلا ظل وراء. العلم هذا اليوم سيل هائل، فاجمع لنفسك ما يفيد ضياء. أحبتي لا تيأسوا، أحبتي لا تيأسوا وتحفزوا، بالعلم لا بالجهل تمحو الداء. إني أعاهدك الجهاد معلمي، وأعاهد الوكلاء والمدراء، وأعاهد الأم الحنون ووالدي، وأعاهد الأصحاب والرفقاء، ولكم من شعوري ألف ألف تحية، ولكم السلام صبيحة ومساء.
درر يا ولدي، درر. الله يهديني، الله يهديني، الله يا علي يا ولدي.
تم يا يبا.
وين رايح يا ولدي؟
إلى جامعة الأمير محمد بن فهد.
ناخذني وياك
يبا انتظر شوي. ساهر.
اوه
يبا ساهر، ما يصير بني آدم يصير بالسيارات.
حسبي الله عليك.
Again, I would like to thank the acting club, and it's only one club of our organizations that we have here at PMU. I think that you still remember that, right? Who's here went to the flying club, for example? Oh, we have the flying guys. Chess club. Great. So we have a lot of clubs at PMU, as you remember. But now, do you still remember the slogan of PMU? Can you say it? No, we're here at PMU. PMU has been built with one thing in mind, only one thing in mind, guys: making history, building leaders. Please welcome Professor Gregory Poole for a workshop on leadership.
Good evening, everyone. Alia didn't say, let me just say very quickly, I'm going to run through this presentation real fast. I am very, very, very happy. In January, I got an email from Mr. Osama Al-Khattab seeing if we have any students to recruit for a leadership workshop competition that's going to take place in Washington, D.C. This summer. And I called him up, went down to his office. I said, you know, I'm teaching leadership this semester. In fact, I'm teaching 4 sections. I've got a total of 88 students. Why don't I send a direct email to all of my students who got a B+ or higher in the final examination. I did that. We followed up with a couple of cold phone calls. Came down, they applied. We helped them out with their application process, how to answer the question, you know, what can you contribute to this workshop, you know. And what was it? 6 students were selected from Saudi Arabia, 3 from PMU. We're doing something right, okay? It's about championing PMU in the global corporate arena. We need your help. Thanks for coming back. And you students who are going to be graduating, you too, you have a duty. Please, you know, come back. Today going to be talking about leading, managing, teaming, negotiating, topics that I discuss in our leadership course and critical thinking course as well. But I just want to briefly say, you know, I was partly educated in the United States and in France. So I have sort of an American, European. I lived in Japan for 12 years, so I have sort of a Japanese, you know, way of looking at things. And I came to Saudi Arabia in October of 2010. And it was winter, but it was hot. Not that kind of heat, another kind of heat. See, things started happening in Tunisia. And then they moved to Egypt. And then they moved to Libya. Now it's happening in Syria. And the course all of a sudden got real interesting. We would have these esoteric debates on what a leader is and what a manager is and what was the difference, and I don't know, I couldn't figure it out. Maybe some of you can help me. We all know that leaders lead, but do managers lead? Somebody? Huh? They only manage? Leaders, do they inspire? What about managers? Huh? No. Delegate. Who delegates? Managers. Leaders don't? Okay. Feedback. Control. Decide. Risk. Leaders? Okay. Who asks what needs to be done? Leaders. Managers don't ask that? Really? Well, you know, what is good for the enterprise? Who asks that? Huh?
Combination of both.
Combination of both. Ooh.
Shareholders.
You know, leadership, managership, they're inclusive, they're situational, they're harmonic. I think they both ask what needs to be done, what's good for the enterprise. But life is not so, you know, A and or B. Life can be pretty harmonic, dynamic, because leaders, managers, they all work in teams. And teams lead, inspire, manage, delegate, feedback, control, decide, risk. Communities. You'll be surprised how much power a community can have over a manager over a leader. Think of yourself as the rector, vice rector of PMU, and you're trying to get accredited by one of the accreditation agencies. They will scare you to death, okay? One of my favorite business authors, Peter F. Drucker, he's probably considered the father of modern management. He did an article in Harvard Business Review called Managing Oneself. I've added the title, Ourselves. But in order to be a manager or a leader, perhaps you should know yourself. Am I a listener? Am I a speaker, reader, writer? What are my coworkers? Are they listeners, speakers, readers, writers? Meaning, how do we learn? Listeners learn by listening and talking. My experience in Saudi Arabia is that Saudi Arabians like to listen, and they're very good listeners. Americans, French, Japanese, when they're in class, they learn by taking notes. It took me a while to figure that out. You know, I'm new to Saudi Arabia, and I'm angry the students aren't taking notes. Am I right? Yeah, I know I am. A couple of my professor friends there are smiling. We also learn by speaking. We learn by reading. What happens if your boss is a speaker? What do? Do you send him an email or do you drop in his office? Huh? Huh? What? Yeah, but don't send him an email. I'm not a writer. I hate it when people send me an email because that means I got to respond, right? I don't keyboard very fast. Okay.
Then maybe you hit me too much.
Huh? Peter Drucker goes on to say, you know, what do you love in life? What do you like? What are your strengths? It's funny, though, that people that like something, they are just inherently very good at it. And people who dislike something, they're pretty weak at it. And to improve, they got to work extra hard. Leaders, managers, workers, we all do feedback. Feedback is like, am I doing what I think I'm doing? Am I succeeding as much as I think I'm succeeding? Why am I succeeding? Why am I not doing as well as I think I'm doing? But at any rate, it's more difficult to go from bad to average than to go from first rate to excellence. So in life, concentrate on the things that you're good at. Shield yourself from the things that you're not good at and that you don't like.
Valuable piece of advice you give us being an attempt to some of the value that you guys have done with your present companies. People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that end up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that love what they did so they can persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it, quit.